In most cases, we'll want to do more than just echo a value inside of our functions. In order to do that, we'll need to have the function return a value. This way, we're able to store data from a function call to any type of value variable. Those can include arrays, integers, booleans, so on and so forth. A return statement will also end the function's execution immediately. This way, we can pass control back to the line that the function was called from, allowing us to return at different locations inside of our function. Although a function cannot return multiple values, it can, however, return an array containing the multiple values inside of a single data type. Let's jump over to workspaces and work with the return statement. So as we were talking about earlier, we're going to want to do more than just echo values inside of our functions. We're going to want to return values. So there is a keyword in PHP called return that we can use inside of our functions. There are a lot of great uses of return, more than just returning the value of whatever we want. So let's create a couple of small functions to just sort of see what we can do. So to get started, let's create a very simple function called hello, just like before. Okay, and then open and close our curly braces to give ourselves function boundaries there. And then inside, we're going to return a value. All right, so let's return the same kind of string we would before, like hello world. Now, the way we're going to do that, instead of saying echo, we'll say return. All right, and then we'll say return, and then do our typical string here, hello world. All right, close it with a semicolon. And now when we call the function, when we run just hello, it won't really do us any good. We need to store this somewhere. So the output of this needs to do something. So we'll store it to a variable called greeting. Greeting is equal to the output, or the return value on line 4, of the function hello. So we'll go down here now, and if we save this and run our preview, let's see what it does. Okay, you'll see we actually have no output. The reason why is we're not echoing, we're just returning. But if we say echo, and then greeting, all right, and then hit save, go back over and refresh, now it'll say hello world. It's actually outputting that variable, which the variable is just a string, but the string was generated by our function, which you can see on line 7. Okay, let's do a little bit more with this. So instead of just saying hello, we're going to pass it an argument here. We're going to say name. All right. And then we're going to do a couple of tests in here. So we'll say if, and then open and close, name, okay, equals Mike. Right. Then what are we going to do? We will actually go here and we'll return, instead of hello world, we'll say hello Mike. All right, make sure we do our curly braces here. All right, all our tabs are good. So that will be pretty good as long as it's equal to Mike. Else, we want to do something different otherwise. So we'll say else. We'll just say return, not echo, hello stranger. Doesn't need to be caps. All right, close our single quotes and then a semicolon. And so now when we pass through name and say it's Mike, we should get still an echoed greeting. So let's go back over, hit refresh, except we're going to get hello Mike. Now, if we were to change it to something else, so Chris, hit save, head back over, and then hit refresh. Now it says hello stranger. Okay, so you can see here we're returning a value here in a conditional, just the same way we were before. So we can have multiple return values, but we cannot return more than one value from a single function. So it only has one return clause. So once it runs the return, it exits the function. Let's say we want to do something with an integer calculation. So what we'll do is we'll say sum, and then we'll do A and B as our two variables. Actually, let's not make it sum because that is an internal word. We'll say add up. Let's say that's our function. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of this. And then we're going to say our value is equal to add up. And we are going to add up two numbers. So the first argument would be 2. The second argument would be the integer 4. And then we will echo our value. All right, so that won't do anything because we haven't returned anything. So we need to do a return, return, and then we'll do $A plus $B. Close it with a semicolon, and then go look at our preview. 6, exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so that's a way we can return integer values. We can return strings. If we need to return multiple values, we can, but we need to do it with an array. So let's say we want to actually return the two values that came in as well as the summed value. So the way we'll do that is we're going to create an internal array. We'll just call it ARR. And we will set it equal to, let's see, the first value would be, array. Go down, keep it tidy. All right, so the first value is going to be $A. Okay, the next one would be $B, which gives us our two input values. And then finally, we'd need our summed value, which would be A plus B. So we can just simply say A plus $B. Okay, so we have three different values here in our array. The first one is $A, the second one is $B, and the third one would be $A plus $B. And then to return, instead of returning A plus B, we'll just simply return ARR. Now, if I was to just echo this value, let's see what we get back. Okay, we get a string array. Well, we can use an internal function of PHP, which we'll get into a little bit more on internal functions, but we have one that's called print r. So I'll just say, instead of echo, print r, and then pass through the value. That way, we'll actually get to see the keys and values of the array. Head back over to our preview and hit refresh. So here you can see that key 0 for the array is the 2, which is our A. Key 1 would be 4, and then our output value, or key 2, would be 6. So if we wanted to, instead of print up just the whole array, we would just say echo, and then value, and then the final key, right, which would be 2. All right, so we'll semicolon there, end our statement, and then refresh. So now we can get back our value, but we also have the A and the B as well if we needed to use it.